Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make live hands for your puppet that look kind of like this. Now there are many advantages to having hands like this for your puppet. Your character will be able to pick things up, grab things, interact in a way that other rod puppets just can't. I already did a video on how to make rods. Click here if you want to see the video that I already made on how to make rod hand puppets with posable fingers. Let's get started. I'm going to draw the pattern out on some paper. You want to make sure that the pattern is going to fit your hand, so I'm going to start off by making sure that the lines are on the outside of my hand. So I'll make a line there, and I'll make a line over here too. So that's about how wide we need the pattern to be. Looks like it's about 5 inches. So that's the main shape. Knowing there's going to be 2 fingers in the last slot, I'm going to divide this about evenly. I'm going to make the fingers about 2 inches long. And then just draw fingers within there. So that's about the size that I want for the fingers. So I'm going to line up my thumb about where it goes to, which is right here. So I'm looking for a pattern about that size. That looks good. So you can use the pattern that we just made, or you can print this one out from my website. So obviously make sure you use the same fleece. Now when you're laying out the hand pattern, you want to make sure the stretch is going this way. That'll make it easier to get your hand in, and allow the glove to compensate different sized hands. Now the way I like to do it is to actually double it up. So I'm going to fold this over on itself, and I'll carefully trace out the hand. Make sure to flip it over when you trace it again. And I actually like to have longer sleeves on my arms, so I'm going to extend it about 6 inches down. If you wanted to, you could actually extend the pattern before you trace it on, or you can just draw it on after like we did. Okay, so both of our hands are traced on there, so now what I'm going to do is stitch right through both layers. Make sure that you double this fabric over so that it becomes a glove. I'm going to stitch right on the inside of the lines, ignoring, of course, this one here. So now it's all stitched up. If you're going to use this pattern to make fur hands, you're going to want to cut all the pieces out first and then sew them by hand. Stitching around the fingers on the machine doesn't really work with a long pile fur. So now let's cut this out. It's easier to see the stitch lines if you look at the back. Now I'll just turn them inside out. And there they are. For my puppets, I use this only as the hand. I do a separate piece as the forearm. This long part is not part of the arm. This is just to give the puppeteer clearance when filming. So let's make those forearms. We're gonna use some more fleece. This time, the long way, you don't want the stretch. I'm going to have the forearms be about 7 inches long, so I'm going to add a ½ inch of seam allowance on each end, making it 8 inches long. 8 inches to be about 5 inches wide. So that shape should do it. Make sure the stretch is going this way. We don't want the arm to be able to stretch. So now I'm going to fold it over on itself so we can get 2 when we cut it out. And these are going to be our forearms. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over this way and stitch along this edge and along this end. but I'm gonna leave these ends open so we can stick the foam inside. So these are all stitched up now. Now let's cut out some foam. You wanna make it about an inch wide. So maybe I'll go just a hair more than an inch. Like that. And then I'll do another one here. And then again, it should be about, so now it should be about 7 inches tall. So this is the foam for the forearms. Now you can see that they're square. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use scissors to trim the corners off. It'll take a little bit of the edge off and make it a little bit smoother. It doesn't need to be perfect. Now we have to put this foam inside of the sleeve. You could turn this inside out and try sticking it in, but there's a lot of friction and it's kind of difficult. The easiest way I found is to lay them next to each other and then use something like a pencil. And you can kind of really quickly slide it right through like that. Next, I'm going to stitch these ends closed. Since it's a seam that's going to be up against something else, I'm just going to use a whip stitch. Now there's many different ways to do this. Some people like it pretty low, some people like it high. If you have it lower, I think that this piece acts more as a bicep and then this acts kind of as the forearm. I personally like to have mine way up high. Now the next step is to attach the forearm to the hand. Okay, now we have these forearms attached to our hands, and now let's stitch them on. To start off by just kind of pinning it where I think it should go, which is right about here. I want to make sure they're even. So let me see here, put it right about there. Go. And I'll actually use a whip stitch on this too, because that's a really strong stitch. See that I'm just stitching all the way around. It's pretty straightforward. All right, now we have one on. Let's do the other one. Now let's see how that feels. Wow, that feels good. Look at these hands. Now I can scratch my head, pick my nose, whatever I want. After watching that short clip, a few of you might be wondering how I operated both hands and the head. In order to get a puppet like this completely animated, you need 2 puppeteers. So I was doing one hand and the head, and another whole person was doing the other hand. That's how they do it on TV shows too. If these videos are not fulfilling your puppetry needs, join the community. The Puppet Makers Workshop Facebook group is a great resource for people to learn about all different types of puppetry. If you join, make sure you read the rules before posting. It's a great community, but we don't want a lot of spam. So please read the rules angles and think before you post. So I have a couple more videos coming up. I'm gonna show you how to make a shirt for this guy. I'm gonna do a specific video on sewing techniques for fleece and a whole bunch more. For the next 2 months, I might be posting bi-weekly, but don't worry, there's a lot more to come. Please give this video a big thumbs up and go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Keep making puppets. See you next time.